Where in the US are you?
I'm in New York.
Oh my God, nice. Okay, not that much of a time difference. Amazing.
Yeah. And you're still in India, I'm guessing?
I am currently in London. I'm shooting here, and then
Oh.
I go.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Great. Well, really nice to meet you. And thank you for taking the time out to speak with us. I'm Zeal. I'm from Urban Asian. And I'm really excited about your upcoming film, Detective Sherdil. And I just thought I'd take this opportunity to dive into what the role is about. What is it about the script? You know, when you first read it, what is it about the character that really drew you to this film?
I feel like the script really kept me on my toes. And like I really didn't know who the murderer was in the end. Then when I finally got to the end of the script, I was like, okay, I have to do this because if it's keeping me on my toes while I'm reading, I can't even imagine how it's going to translate on screen. And then after reading the script, I found out like the names that were attached to it, and I was like, these are all great actors, and they've all read the script and resonated with it. So clearly, there's something that's I don't know, drawing us to this project. So yeah, I was fully on board.
Okay, awesome. I'm a big comedy fan, and I
Oh
love that there's a mystery element to it as
yeah,
well. So I'm really excited to see the film. Just diving back sort of into past roles that you've had, you know, you've done October and I believe also another film, Sardar Uddam, which are very emotionally rich roles. And now there's this whole new avenue of like comedy or a new genre that you're exploring. So how was it, you know, being in this role as compared to those roles? And what sort of complexity or preparation did it require for you to kind of translate that onto screen?
I think this film is definitely lighter and more fun than anything I've ever done in India before. But having said that, your job as an actor is still to portray your character authentically. And in this film, my character loses her father, who is like the person she's closest to in life.
Mhm.
So there are some moments, and you'll see them in the film where, although it is a fun entertainer and light movie, there are some kind of emotionally deep scenes. One in particular I remember doing. And so in that sense, it was kind of familiar as to what I was used to, but then it also was like there was that treatment of this is like an entertainer, so the style of acting is slightly different. It's yeah, but it definitely was a really cool tangent for me to explore because I think I was like, okay, I've done a lot of serious stuff and a lot of the roles I was doing were so intense and like they were affecting my mental health that it was nice to do a job that was like I came on set, we had fun, we worked, and then like you switch off by the end of the day. So yeah.
Yeah. That brings me to I guess the environment on set, right? How was it working with these seasoned comedic actors like Boman Irani, Ratna Pathak, Chunky Pandey? They're so well known in Bollywood for like their timing or their delivery in their comedy movies. So what was it like working with them? What were the vibes on the set?
It's so funny because they're all obviously so experienced, but it's great to watch their processes because they're all so different from the other. I felt like I was like in acting school watching like three different it like seasoned actors do their thing, and it felt like a different class for each one. Like Bowman Sir would improvise at the top of the scene before the director even yells action to get himself into the flow. And
Mhm.
I noticed with him, he was kind of like he likes to free ball a lot. Ratnamam is more like she's very by the book. She wants to make sure everything's done properly. Like her character is portrayed as authentically as possible. Like she really looks for the details and everything. And she
Mhm.
definitely has this eye about her as well as what I noticed. And then Chunky Sir is just like a wild card. You don't know what you're getting. Take. There was one moment where he wasn't meant to do something, but he did something so like out of the script, and they were shooting, and I kind of had to go back to be like, "Are we shooting this? Like, what is going on right now?" But and they ended up keeping that in the film actually, so it worked out really
Okay.
well. So yeah.
Exciting, exciting. Yeah, I think I grew up watching all the comedy films, you know, so it's exciting to see all of them work together and, you know, bring new scripts to life. And
I
it
was
never gets old,
no,
their
no,
comedy.
so funny in this movie, and she doesn't even intend to be, but some of the lines she comes out with, like you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you watch it. And as a woman, you'll watch it and be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe she just said that, but that is true." So
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. And then I guess I really wanted to dive more into what it was like working with Diljit.
yeah, I've actually worked with him before this movie. We did a music video together called Jind Mahi, and that was like at the beginning of my career. So to see him again and to get to work with him on a movie, as actors was a really gratifying experience. And like just seeing his process and the discipline and work ethic that man has, that it wasn't surprising to me that he has ended up at the heights he's reached, because he really has like everything you would need in a recipe for a superstar. Like the hard work, the discipline, um, the focus, the perseverance, the humility, the talent, obviously, and the charm. He's I remember sitting with Sonali when we were shooting the music video. And she was telling me then, she was like, what makes Diljit different is he can sing and he can act. And there's no one really in India who can do that. And then cut to these many years later, and he's like killing it in cinemas, killing it on stage. And I was like, wow, like they knew where they were going, and they reached there. And it just makes me really proud to know that I've seen little snippets along the way. I feel really privileged.
I saw him in concert here and it was an amazing experience.
Yeah,
I was so glad I went. It was a last minute decision and I was like, wow.
I I saw him perform too, and I was just in awe the whole time. The energy he has, his voice is insane. There's not a
Yeah,
slip of tune on that mic. Like he is a raw talent. It's incredible.
I agree. 100%. And so going back to some of your earlier roles or earlier in your career, now from where you are, what sort of advice or message would you want to give to your younger self?
No, that's a great question. I think, oh, bless her. I look at her and I'm just like, she was a mess. Like, there's so much I'd want to tell her, in terms of like I used to run away from the fame angle of things. I didn't understand how any of it works, but I think it really is important to have a publicist to help guide you through that, because it is inevitable in this line of work. Like you can only run
Mhm.
away from so long, is what I realized.
Okay.
Um, just to kind of just accept like you're in the public world now, and to embrace it more, because I think I shied away from a lot of stuff. And I think also just to, I used to take like the heartbreaks of, when you get really close to a role and then you don't get it, like really to heart. Like I
Mm,
get really
yeah.
upset. And now I don't. Now I'm just like, because I think with the experience, you really learn what's meant for you will not pass you. And there's some stuff which, when I tell you, I've cried my eyes out over not getting it. And then I've eventually seen that film come out. And I'm like, thank my lucky stars I was never in that movie, because I don't know what happened in the creative process. But from the script I read, it did not translate to screen. So I'm
Yeah.
just at peace with like what's meant for me is meant for me, and what isn't, it's meant for someone else, or it's just not a good project to be a part of. So I think have peace and trust the timing of things, and don't be in such a rush. Like Meryl Streep started acting in movies when she was like 27 years old. So, and
Mhm.
look, she's the greatest actress alive and she's still working. There's
Yeah.
no there's no right age, there's no right timing that you should be doing something. And I think I would also tell myself, like, don't compare and despair. I think as young people, especially in your 20s, you definitely feel like by this age, I should be here. By that age, I should be there. This person is doing this, I should be doing that. Like, and everyone is so individual. Everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own privilege on top of that. That I've come to the point where, like, I used to compare myself to like white male actors in my industry, which was so stupid, because now I'm like, how could they have a privilege that I don't have access to? Like I could never compare myself to my white
Yeah.
peers, like the male ones. So everyone has a journey, like, and just to be more accepting of it, keep your head down and work hard, I think is what I tell myself. But
That's
yeah,
good. Any other sneak peek into other future projects that may be coming up that you can tell us a little bit about?
I can't say anything right now, but there are like two or three that I am super excited about that I'm hoping next year will start coming out. So yeah.
Okay.
But for now, some shit though.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm really excited to see this film, and I wish you well in all your future projects as well.
Thank you so much, and you too. Have a great day.